Okay, WWE's Fastlane. Whereas my wife, when she asked me what this pay-per-view was about, I was like, it's the stopgap between Royal Rumble and Wrestlemania. So we begin with a six-man tag match. Ziggler, Rowan, and Ryback versus what's left of the Authority. So Kane, Big Show, and Seth Rollins. Probably thinking, when was this match announced? The end of SmackDown had those three guys do a pretty concise beatdown on the other three guys. This match, crowd super hot. Ryback had some great spots. I think Ryback and Rollins could be a very, very solid feud. Rowan, good job as the journeyman big man. Crowd, stupid hot for Ziggler. Ziggler, again, just liquid lightning in that ring. Beautiful to watch. Finish is just a really solid finish. I like when six-man matches kind of chaotic, especially with Jane just cured on the outside. Ziggler goes for the big splash in the corner. Kane kind of holds him. Show, like running KO punch. Kane choke slam. 1, 2, 3. They're continuing to do a beatdown. Crowd chanting RKO. Orton hits the ring, is RKOing everybody he can. Great way to start the show. Just a freaking perfect way to start that show. We then have, Dusty talking with Dustin about, like I don't want you to hurt him. And the most important people, you are my whole world. And he kind of repeats that same thing again after Goldust is like, I have to beat him to the point where he does not want to put the makeup on. Stardust, slightly different, sort of, like now the mouth isn't covered in paint, he's not wearing a full body suit. And their match is really solid psychology, all things considered. It felt like they weren't clicking, but that was also part of the story. At the same time, too, they popped the daylights out of the crowd in that first match. So crowd not into this match at all, which is really sad, because it's actually a pretty good match from a psychology standpoint. The ending was just bad. Goldust goes to the crucifix roll-up. 1, 2, it looks like Stardust kicks out at about 3, and the ref initially kind of hesitates and then says to ring the bell. And it was like, oh, kind of sloppy ending. But it does, of course, have Stardust do a beatdown on Goldust in the back, so one of his match with Teen in WrestleMania? Probably. The tag team title match with Upper Cats versus the Usos. Actually, a really, really solid match. I like the fact you have two ring technicians who together all of a sudden now kind of have a bizarre personality, and it works well. Great job focusing and isolating like the leg. I mean, the fact that you see one of them work the leg, tag out, keep on working the leg. It's like, this is what happens when you get two technicians with a really consistent game plan. Working the leg is fantastic because giant swing works the leg. Most of the Usos' offense is kicks and flying moves, so you work the leg. Sharpshooter works the leg. I'm like, that's a brilliant strategy. And with the, I remember it as the three-handed family credenza. It was one of the moves that Perry Saturn used to use. Really nice, kind of like fisherman hold to a neck breaker. Love it, great move. 1, 2, 3, new tag champs. Good match, worked well, clean finish, nice work rate. Good stuff that you want to see in a pay-per-view. Good stuff. Triple H calls out Sting. Sting gets in the ring. Sting and Triple H kind of fight for a bit. H goes out, get a sledgehammer. Sting pulls out his bat. And in the background, perfectly framed, is bat versus sledgehammer on a fan sign. Sting points the bat right at H's throat, puts H in the corner. Nobody puts HE in the corner. H drops a sledgehammer, points the WrestleMania sign. Crowd gets kind of nuts. Puts a bat back in the throat, put it back in the corner, point to the sign again. It was like, you probably could have done it once, but then hit him with the bat and then just left. Eventually, of course, Sting goes to leave. H charges him, gets beat down with a baseball bat. Scorpion Death Drop. They're fighting in Mania. Yeah, I did not see that coming. Ambrose and Wade Barrett. The storyline going into this one was Barrett did not want to fight Ambrose. And the whole match, Barrett, being the much larger guy, is playing chicken heel. It's like 75% of the heels on Raw are chicken heels. Oh, I should say in WWE in general are chicken heels. Barrett wins by DQ when Ambrose gets in the corner and just begins to beat the crap out of him. And then he steals the title. Again, kind of a screw job finish. Man, I wonder if that will continue into WrestleMania. I don't know. I like how he stole the title. It allowed him to not win, but still be strong, which is good. That's what you want to do for a character like Dean Ambrose. Undertaker music hit. Crowd is going nuts. They push Casket down to the ring. Bray Wyatt cuts a promo. Moral of the City wants to fight The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I know, right? Who saw this coming? Great promo. Just fantastic. Oh, if these two guys can get in a ring and cut a promo. Oh, that's just going to be epic. And I think Bray Wyatt is going to be able to pull the dead man Undertaker back out. Old school, take a beating, doesn't look as haggard, or else it'll be Taker like we saw last year. Kind of beat. Really no more of the mysticism to him. He's a regular guy. Then which way he'll lose. But good stuff. I like that. So far your three big moments: Orton returning, setting up a feud with either Rollins, well, hopefully with Rollins, or I think that right there, solid stuff. Sting, Triple H. You know those two guys are working on a match that's going to be match of the year quality. Period. Lead into Wyatt Taker. We've known it's been going on since Royal Rumble. I think that's going to be a pretty solid match. Divas match. They were given time, which was nice. I mean, it was. Actually really impressive. Paige has been pulling out some really solid matches against other divas. And against Nikki, who is getting pretty good. Ironically, the way they book Nikki is the way they should have always booked Beth Phoenix. But instead, they had Kelly constantly beat Beth Phoenix. But, again, Nikki seems to have this bizarre, like, hit a big move. Then there's that slight pause. Go for a pin. Doesn't work. Take a small flurry of offense, hit a big move. She seems to need like that one other. She needs to do like Alabama slam, and then with like stomping or an elbow drop or like a leg up. There needs to be some other move than just like big move, big clothesline. It's like she needs some sort of additional like. If she were to hit somebody with like the Alabama slam, and then go right into like, like elbow shots, forearm shots to the face, or just like mounted punches. She needs that one other little just tweak to her game. Because currently she kind of feels very much like a one-dimensional women's power wrestler. She needs either like a submission move. She needs something else to throw into her game, just to make her a little bit better. I mean, she's very good, very consistent. But she needs that extra little oomph. Paige has got multiple submissions. Multiple finishers. Nikki, no. And how does Nikki win? Roll pamphlet tights. Alright. So far we had a clean ending in the tag team title match. Beyond that, it matches all had some sort of bizarre ending, disqualifications, or controversial endings, and here's another controversial ending. Okay. But solid match. Not NXT, but solid main roster Divas match. Rusev, John Cena. This felt like every other John Cena match. He gets the crap beat out of him 75% of the match, hits a couple of big moves, goes for a pin. I think, oh God, he's going to beat him. AA, oh God, he's going to beat Rusev. No. And Rusev has seemed to almost master the move out of a fall-away slam. It's like, catch you, fall-away slam. Catch you, black hole slam. Catch you, different form of slam. Catch you, crossface. And I was like, alright, see another crossface. Okay, I'm like, what's the counter for the crossface? Rusev, just like one arm powers out, hits an Alabama slam. I'm like, alright. That works. Had we not seen Alabama slam like the match before? But I mean, you know, it was good. Rusev looked impressive. He looked dominating. And I was like, you know, it's a pretty solid match. Kicked out of an AA, got out of an STFU, got out of a lot of different moves. Cena goes for his top rope leg drop, which he almost never hits. Rusev reversed it into a sick powerbomb. I should mention too that Nikki hit a sick powerbomb in his rematch against Paige. So it was Alabama slams and sick powerbombs. What's the moves of the night? Lana gets in the ring because it's like, oh, Rusev's won this one. Kick to the groin. Another kick. Boom. Accolade. Cena passes out. Man, I could have swore that I called Cena passing out because that's how Rusev wins the first match. It's always, he beats the guy at the accolade via pass out. I'm like, alright. Now we're at the main event. Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns. Ironically, from Monday on, they have booked Roman Reigns the way they should have always booked Roman Reigns. He's not talking much. He's beating the crap out of people. He's kind of cocky. He's trying to pull that like Rock swagger, but at the same time just being a powerhouse. And he and Daniel Bryan put on a very, very solid match. And this again shows what happens when you have two different styles. You can put on a really great match. They did a great shot to the liver, which is a nice incapacitating shot, and they played it off well, which made you think, well, if Bryan were to win Bryan Lesnar, he could work the midsection because diverticulitis and the broken rib. He could work those sort of areas, and it would actually make sense. Roman had some sort of, I think he was initially going for a German, but instead reversing almost kind of like a backdrop suplex. Kind of a weird looking move, but effective. I'm glad he threw in a couple other throws. He did a nice job actually adding one or two more moves to the repertoire. Like I've been saying, he needs a few additional moves. He needs more than like the drop kick on the outside, Superman punch, spear. He needed a Samoa drop. He needed one or two more moves. He seemed to throw those out when I'm like, it's actually a pretty competitive match. There were times when Roman Reigns would counter move with raw power or just like ground and pound him. And I was like, you know, that's what they needed. They needed to show Roman Reigns is a stronger individual and he's a more vicious individual. And he has a very sloppy style. Doesn't matter because he's got lots of power. So they did a good job in getting that across. Daniel Bryan being faster, more technically gifted, good job making him such a credible threat. A really good job. Hits the big knee on him. First kick out of the big knee. Okay. He kicks out of a spear. Okay. Goes for another big knee towards the end of the match. It's going for it. Eats a 6 spear. 1, 2, 3. Reigns wins. Like we kind of knew he was going to win. I know. We put out hope against hope that he wasn't going to win. But all in all, I mean, you know, that was actually a really good match. They're going to need to try really, really hard to make Roman Reigns seem like someone who's going to defeat Brock Lesnar. A man who beat John Cena handily. A man who defeated John Cena and Seth Rollins and took like a half dozen finishing moves and still won. They're going to need to do something pretty impressive. You play WWE Immortals, you know Roman Reigns' finisher is like a head tackle into a get over here, into a spear, and then he drops like hand grenades on him. I think if he does that, he can probably beat Lesnar.